And we're getting started just a little bit early today. Hopefully my music is not going to restart. I think that's the case. All right, looks like we have audio on the mic. Hey, that was a pretty smooth transition. I think I'm finally getting the hang of this thing, guys. Hey, welcome to, hey, by the way, happy May the 4th be with you Eve. We missed it by a day. It would really been cool if we could have had a I don't need these, a live stream on May the 4th. Probably could have if I could have figured it out, but no, probably not during the paying gig day, which is on a Monday. So good to have all of you here. So we'll kind of celebrate. It kind of would have been fun to play maybe some Star Wars games. Maybe we'll do that next year. We'll figure it out, everybody. So welcome. We are streaming both in shorts format and in long form for, portrait and landscape, all those businesses. So if you are over on the shorts feed and you want to see the full screen, you won't need it for a while, but eventually we'll be doing some demos. You might want to pop over there. It should be exciting. We have got a lot to talk about today. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks since our last one, but let me get my notes up here because it is extensive what we need to talk about today. But before we do that, as we always do, let's go ahead and see who we have online. First of all, looks like a small but mighty group of you right now. We've got about 16 of you. Remember, if you are watching and you've not dropped into chat, be sure and do that. Let us know you're out there. We'd love to hear who is in chat. And I usually give a call out. So let's see who we have today. We have Evil J was first. Evil J gets the star on his refridge for being the first chat. Looks like it was around 7 a.m. this morning. That's quite early, my friend. It was earlier than I was up, that's for sure. Beatles was here soon after. Taro is in the chat as well. And I think both of those are still with us, which is great. They didn't just pop in and then pop out. Hopefully they didn't hang out in chat all that time. I don't know. 7 hours seems a little extreme there, Evil J. So let's see. Mr. Landfill was here, might not be with us, as he said in chat. So Xander is here with a good morning, noon, eve, night. Good morning, noon, eve, night. There we go. Xander finally got it right this time. Is also in here. Let's see. Who else do we have? Terrapin is here. Hey, Terrapin, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. PC Expert is here as well. Good to have you here, PC Expert. Let's see. Craig McIntosh. Hey, welcome from Scotland. I believe this is your very first Retro Combs live stream. Correct me if I'm wrong in chat, but I believe this is your first. So welcome to the friendliest chat on YouTube at this particular time. It's a great group of folks, and it looks like they've already welcomed you. And I really appreciate our retroCombians welcoming all of our new folks. So good to have you here. And looks like you're looking for, as we like to say, looking for your tribe. Well, you have found your tribe. If you're looking to recapture some of that youth in your computing, you're in the right spot today. We're gonna have some fun today, as a matter of fact. Let's see. J, what is that? IKJ. I don't know what we're gonna call you 8561. Retro computers are way more fun than anything today. I did feature that a little bit earlier. So welcome. I believe this is your first live stream with me as well. So welcome. Stuart Guest is here. Stuart, good to have you. And looks like that's all for chat. Although I do want to say that I need to highlight Xander is getting the ball started with a super chat. Thank you so much, Xander. Let the chat will be great again. I love it. So Xander is helping us with the chat room today and firing up the super chats. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do that with a super chat. That's what Xander did. Midway through the show, we'll talk about how you can support the channel. And I got to tell you, I need support this month. We're going to talk about a lot of new stuff. And yeah, I need some support this month for sure. I do not want the lovely accountant seeing my my statements. So anything you all can do, like Xander, is appreciated during this live stream. So thank you for that. Let's see. I think that's it for everybody. It is. I am with. Well, I don't know if we want to say that, but I got you. Good to have you here. So outstanding. Great to have you here, Craig, all the way from Scotland. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully you'll enjoy it so much you'll be back all the time. Also, cool t-shirt. Okay, you're my guy. Well, we got to celebrate, right? May the 4th be. We have a makerspace here in the community, and one of the things they do is a Lego club. And tomorrow they have all the kids in our community coming together and celebrating May the 4th with Lego. Does it get any better than that? Lego, Star Wars, put it all together, have a big day. So I'm looking forward to that tomorrow at our makerspace. So that's going to be kind of fun. So any activities happening around May the 4th, put those in chat. I'd love to hear what your communities or what you personally may be doing for May the 4th. I know it's an unofficial holiday. but we all like to try and treat it as a holiday, right? So we'll do that. Hey, let's go ahead. So for those of you new, Craig, for instance, we've got a standard format today. We've got some unboxings or a few things to share. We've got our news items, and then we're going to go right into our demo. So I know sometimes it surprises folks who come into the live stream. They're like, where's the spiffy stuff? Well, we got stuff we got to do before we get to the main event, okay? It's like a show. It's like a computer users group. We have other things to talk about. So we like to kind of take it slow, work through the news, work through some unboxings, talk a little bit, and check in chat. So if you're here and you're like dead set, you need spiffy now, I'd go away for about 35 to 40 minutes. Not that I want viewers to go away, but come back later. We'll get into spiffy, did I say spiffy DOS? The spiffy firmware. It's not really spiffy DOS. I shouldn't call it that, but it's kind of cool. You're going to enjoy it. Let's see. Let me go ahead and check here. We have, I think I just saw someone new pop in. Oh, Boomerman Dan. Yeah. Dan's been here before, so good to have you here, though. So thanks for popping in here, Boomerman Dan. And Tara, we said, and Stuart is actually here. Actually made it on time today. Well, congratulations, Stuart. So did I. So outstanding. We're both here. I'm usually a bit late for these live streams. No, you set your alarm just perfectly this time. And stream scene's fine here. Excellent. Good. Well, if we start to have some problems, I'm not seeing, let me just check. I'm not seeing any issues. Looks like I've got good stream health on my side. So we should be good to go, folks. And so that is going on. Let's see. Have a good time with... Oh, well, thank you so much, Motorate.online. Look at that. Also, another super chat. Wow, that's two, and we're just getting started. I really appreciate that. Having a good time with the stream. I hope you have a better time with the stream, so it'll get even more fun. Trust me, when I stop yapping and welcoming everybody. Although that's kind of the fun thing, too, is kind of building the community around this. So thank you so much for that, Motorate. I love it. And I think this is your first stream with us. So if it is, let me know down below. But yes, exactly what Beetle said. You are awesome. You are awesome. So thank you. And really appreciate it, along with you and Xander today, getting the super chat started. PC Expert usually likes to check out the thing to see if it's even working. Hey, PC Expert, good news. You don't have to check it out. It's working. So let's keep that rolling. And let's go into, because I know you all are excited to get going here. We are all the way from Belgium. Hey, we've got another person here, I believe is their first one. Welcome from Belgium. This is D74NL. Good to have you here. Lots of new folks today. Really appreciate you all joining. I know a lot of people are kind of interested. What's Spiffy Firmware going to do to my Commodore 64? Hopefully it's not going to wreck my Commodore 64 Ultimate. So we'll get to that. Let's get to the good stuff, and we'll come back to chat in a little bit. Here's our setup for those of you who may be new. Underneath here, we do have our Commodore 64U that we'll talk about. But before we do that, I have some things to unbox that I want to show you. Now, typically, most of you know I have another channel. It's called RetroCombs-Tech. And I talk about kind of newer technology, studio tech, that kind of thing. It actually surpassed this channel for subscribers, but never fear. I'm not gonna, this is still my love. The other one, I think I've told you all before, the other one kind of helps support this channel so that I can do more over here. So it's really great that I have that opportunity, but I very rarely have them cross path. The streams rarely rarely cross between my tech channel and my retro channel. But today I just had something, this was sent to me by the folks over at Ojai, and I will be doing a video on this, but you all are going to get a sneak peek. This just seems like something that you all would really enjoy. They are not sponsoring anything. They did send this to me, but I'm doing a video over on the other channel, but I thought I would share this with you. But this is so cool. Check this out. This is a Prometheus 3-in-1 titanium EDC, or everyday carry cable. All right. Let me show you what this thing is. This is just too cool. This makes me feel like James Bond right here, folks. And I'm trying to figure out a fun video to do. Here it is right here. I'll tell you what, let me pull up a different view here. I think you'll like this view better. Let's see, where's my desk? There it is right there. So this is the device right here, but check it out. Actually, it just kind of looks cool all by itself, but check this out. You can separate it here. This is magnetic. See that right there? And then here we've got a couple of things. But first, let me show you this. If you pull this off, and you pull this off, basically what you've got is just a really handy USB-C cable for transfer, power, that type of thing. So you can plug in one to one end, one end to the other. That's kind of cool. But here, let's see what else it does. This is a titanium cutter. Check this out. If we like a lipstick See that thing coming out of there? Check that out. And I got to tell you guys, that is pretty sharp. That will cut through most anything. And it's got an interesting, you can see the shape. The shape is designed so that you can cut through boxes and other things. So really cool. So any guesses what the other end is? I'll give it a second here. Anybody want to guess what this other end is right here? I'll give you a second. I'll show it here. And while we're doing that, let's see. Let me check on chat here. Oh my goodness, Craig, thank you so much. Craig just did a super chat as well. Much appreciated. Brand new viewer and already helping with the super chats in the channel. Thank you, Craig. I really appreciate that. And again, welcome to, as I said, the friendliest chat on YouTube at this particular time. And mini lightsaber. I love it. You are so close, Boomer Dan, man. You don't know how close you are. But this end right here, when you plug this into a power source, this is a ceramic lighter. This bad boy lights up and you can, and I've already tested it. As a matter of fact, there's a little piece of paper in there. It is, whoa, look at that. It is all stuck in there, but it is a lighter. So you could light, if you're a smoker, I guess you could do a cigarette. I am not a smoker, obviously, but it did set a piece of paper on fire. But how cool is that? So, and I checked it on a couple of different USB sources. Just a regular standard rechargeable or battery, it worked, and it actually worked off of my Mac as well. So that is, I just thought that was kind of cool. If you think that's kind of cool, let me know. I just thought this is one of the few that maybe would kind of cross over with some interest. And again, I'll have a video in my other channel, RetroCombs-Tech, if you're looking for that. I did some footage of it yesterday. So just kind of cool. If you think I shouldn't be doing this, let me know. But I just thought you might enjoy that. So thank you so much for that. And oh my goodness, PC Expert just couldn't help himself. He had to find out if the super chat it was working for him too. So thank you so much, PC Expert. Really appreciate the super. You guys are so generous today. I think you all know what's coming up in the news, and you know why I need to get some support for the channel, right? Yes, it is kind of a mini lightsaber. It's kind of a mini fire saber, right? Now, it doesn't shoot. It just heats up the ceramic element in there, and it gets so hot that it will catch her. It is a weird combo. I don't disagree. It's just an interesting combo to put together and kind of cool that you can have it in your pocket. I'm curious, you think I could make it on a plane with that thing? The lovely accountant and I were talking about it. Does this, we were kind of joking about it. What kind of danger is this, right? But I guess TSA could see it as a danger. So probably would not recommend taking this on a plane. I mean, you'd have to stick somebody a lot of times with that. I don't know. I guess I shouldn't joke about that, but there you go. Okay, enough of that. Let's get into some retro computer stuff I know you're all interested in. And we have, for the next couple of things, we have our magazines that we always take a look at. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let me give you my top-down view here. Let's get that one right here. And we are going to open up our Zzap 64 is the first one. I was over some coffee this morning. Whoa, that's weird. There we go. I was catching up on some Compute magazine. So let's see what's in this edition of Zzap. As we always like to do, we take it. Oh, that's a cool cover. Oh gosh, it almost looks Millennium Falcon-ish. Close, right? So it's kind of themed for this. Looks like we have a preview of Impossible Mission 3. Now, again, we don't go through this, and I just kind of thumb through it, and we see kind of what's going on. And again, love to know in chat who of you actually subscribe to Zzap 64. Always good to know. And let's see, we should not have a Mega 65 article in this one because it's every other, but there's the Commodore corner. So maybe we'll go take a look at that. So looking through here, Steel Ranger 2 has got a review in here. Fat Tarzan, I've never heard of Fat Tarzan. I have to take a look at that one. Here's our cover mount. Cover mount are the demos that come with the Zzap 64. So when you get your copy, you also get a link in the email, tells you where to download all of that if you weren't familiar with that. SNK versus Capcom, that's never been my kind of thing. I'm not one of those fighters where you're just pushing buttons and mashing the joystick, hopefully, and hoping that you're going to score anything. Vault of the Seraphim, that looks kind of interesting. I got a rating there. Demo Legends, Egg Feud. Inspiration Station. Let's go to the, Carcer. That looks interesting. Kind of a game. Looks like everything's getting about 70. Here's their Not 64. Oh, that's interesting. So they're starting to do some things that aren't Zzap 64, but looks like Commodore related. Look at this, Quarks for the VIC-20, Sokoban for the VIC-20. I kind of like that. I kind of like that they're expanding that a little bit. Let's go here, Art Gallery. Again, just a quick cursory, oh, here we go. Friendly Computing strikes back. The latest news from the old Commodore, straight from the CEO's chicken lips. There you go. So some information there. What's he talking about? Don't see anything really. I'll come back to that. Only nerds and breadmen. So there you go. There is, ooh, impossible. This one I'm kind of excited about. And I kind of teased this. I think was it the last live stream we talked about it? I think so. So Stuart is a Zzap 64 subscriber. Good for you. So there you go. Hope I didn't ruin the reveal for you, but Impossible Mission 3 looks really good. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll probably be one that I'll have to play. And they've really upped the game on graphics. So that's the other thing I think we're going to start seeing with the C64 Ultimate, especially since we have an REU built in. We can do even more with our homebrew games. So wow, that looks like, look at these graphics. That looks like a blast. 93% given by the folks over at Zzap 64. That's a very high score. So it looks like it's going to live up to the original. So there is Zzap 64, folks. Let me put that over here. Let's see. Let's go. Oh gosh, let me go back to here. I don't know why this zooming going out of focus like that. Although I've had trouble with that camera over and over, right? Let's see. Yes, he is awesome. Thank you for that. Again, go for the jugular. I love that. That blade might be good for cutting seat belts in case of an emergency. Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I bet that would. Yeah, easily. I bet you could easily cut through that. I cut through a pretty thick box with it, just testing it out the other day. So probably so. I have just moved in my new apartment on the Royal Mile in Edinburgh. Oh my goodness. So now unboxing all my boys' toys and looking forward to setting up my retro computers. Oh, we have to see a picture of that when you get that done, Craig. And we'll share how you might be able to do that with the community a little bit later. This was my favorite magazine growing up. Compute and Run were mine. You know, admittedly, I never saw Zzap 64 when I was young. I guess it's more of a European thing, right? So Stuart, again, said that. Plan on seeing if I can get some of those not C64 games running on the Mega 65 plus 4 core. Yes. As a matter of fact, that is a future live stream. We'll be looking at the Mega 60. I know I've been kind of focused on the C64 Ultimate, and many of you love the Mega 65 content, but we will be coming back to that. We're going to take a look at all the new cores, probably in 2 live streams. I think in the next live stream, I have to live up to a promise, which I guess we can go ahead and talk about just quickly. Next live stream, in case you're curious, will be this. The Atari 2600 Uno cart. Stefan Eilers sent this to me from Europe because it's not available in America, so he was kind enough to order one. And we're going to be plugging this in the 2600. We'll be updating the firmware, and we'll be seeing how this little guy works. So that is the next live stream. And for those of you who are new, live streams about every 2 weeks. I don't do them every week, but I try and do every 2 weeks. Sometimes it gets pushed to 3, but generally 2 to 3 weeks. And that gives me time to work on some prepared content on that other weekend, and also get some notes and things ready for the live stream for the following. So that's kind of the schedule. So I'll talk about that again towards the end as well. All right, the next thing we want to do is, yes, it's here, the next Computes Gazette. Let's take a look at that and see what we have. And again, opening these live with you. So you get to see it. The insides is, and I was telling the lovely accountant, she was quite impressed by this. I said, you probably don't know about this. I haven't really talked to her about the magazine. By the way, the lovely accountant is my wife. Just catching everybody up, because we got a lot of new folks today, which I just love that we've got new folks joining us. Let me check my settings here. Let's see. Oh, good. We got about 30 of you. Outstanding. Good to have you all here. But I told her one of the things I loved about Computes Gazette is this is kind of a recreation of something I read when I was young, but it also included the type-in programs, right? So, and she was floored by that because she wasn't used to that. And she thought that's kind of cool. And I actually have found some content from these magazines that I kind of embed into the live streams as well as into my prepared videos. And I've got lots of ideas. I tell you what, if you're a content creator, you're looking for ideas for a channel, go to this magazine. Now I just gave away the keys to the kingdom. Everybody will have a channel and everybody will want a RetroCombs channel. All right. Let's see. So let's kind of go through here. This is the April edition. And I know we're in May. They're usually about a month behind, which is interesting because when they originally were released, they were always a month ahead Was it a month ahead or yeah, it was always a month ahead, which is interesting. So this is Basic is Not Dead, how Commodore 16 got its groove back. Somebody in the Discord mentioned that they got the, what's the Commodore 16 board? The 16 shooters, somebody help me. 16X, X shooter, 16, whatever, the new Commodore 64 or 16 board. I can't remember what it is. Good to see that Commodore is actually placing full-size ads, as I've said over and over. Let's just take a quick look. We won't spend a lot of time in here, but we do want to see we got Basic is Not Dead. That's kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to reading that. And I do love the articles, but you know, one of the things I love the most, and I always loved them growing up too, was the letters to the editor. Sometimes those are just a blast to read. I wish they would do go back to doing a tips and tricks section. They started that for a while, and then it kind of ended, like how to fix this, do that, especially with the Commodore 64U. I'm sure there's a lot of people wanting to know that. I've also thought about writing an article myself and submitting it. So I think I'm gonna, when I get some free time, which will be never probably, but I think about reaching out. I used to be an old tech writer myself. And so I'm thinking I've got a couple of ideas, so I may try and do something a little bit later. Let me see what else we have. We have Adventure. Oh, that's kind of cool. Is it Adventure for the Atari? Interesting. The game in the box. What else? The other thing I'm really enjoying are the ads. I have to admit, I love the ads. Seeing the old ads along with new ads, so you find out what is available in the world of retro computing. Just great. What else do we have? Oh, here it is. How a Commodore 16 got its groove back. So again, how to restore, which should be a part of the magazine. Twin Tigers Returns. Jupiter Fracture, Lost and Found, Commodore Corner. Oh, here we go. What is Zuck doing in here? Interesting. Have to figure out what that is. The GEOS column has been a regular part of this, and as you all know, GEOS was included with the Commodore 64 Ultimate. Here's Dialed Back if you're looking to recreate that BBS man. Who is the Retro Maccast is the podcast corner feature this month. They're not too old. Retro chip tester. I have one of those. One of these days we're going to break that out. FujiNet. We did that in a previous live stream, looked at FujiNet on the Commodore 64. And here's our Mega 65 article. They are taking Dan, for those of you who may be new, they're taking Dan Sanderson's normal Mega 65 digest and republishing in the magazine, which I appreciate because it brings more exposure to the Mega 65. And then some upgrades. Looks like a good addition. Any of you, look at this. Here's the show floor, Retro Computer Festival. Yeah, interesting. I hadn't seen that ad before. And then, of course, users group update here. If you're looking for a users group, you have that, just like we did back in the day. If you are a subscriber to, if I can get the screen over there, to Commodore's Gazette, let me know down below. And I had my little chat thing over here. Let me reload this here. Hold on just a second. I've got to get this one. There we go. Now we're back in business. So let's see what happened just here. All right, let me get caught up on chat. And yeah, this one crashed too. I've got a couple of windows here that crashed. Let me get those reloaded here. All right, there we go. And let's go ahead and go in here and see what you all were talking about while I was going through that. Plan on seeing if I can get some of the, we already talked about that. I'm sorry, I went back too far. Growing up, I was pretty much oblivious about the UK, US computing magazines. There was Microbitty magazine and the Commodore Late magazine for me. Taro says. Beetle says, you join the channel membership, then you can invite to the Discord. Oh, somebody's looking to try and get into the Discord. We'll talk about that at midway through, and we'll tell you how you can do that. Yes, I'm also a huge, long-time Raspberry Pi guy, building my own projects. And Microbit, Microbit, I haven't touched a Microbit in forever. What a blast, kind of from the recent past. I love the Raspberry Pi. Yeah, if you can get one, and if you can afford a Raspberry Pi, my gosh, those prices have gone up. Jamie of Jamie's Hack Shack has a channel in the Discord where we discuss our project. Yes, Jamie does. Jamie's not here today. He's probably busy. There's a lot going on in our community. I'm surprised I was actually able to pull away this afternoon. Just for you, but I wanted to be here for all of you. But he does have in our Discord a great channel where we talk about electronics, hacking and those types of things. So again, we'll get to that in a little bit. Evil J, thank you for looking in on the chat room for me through that. I looked at membership, could not figure out monthly price. What, Craig? We'll come to that here in a minute. Hold on. I'll tell you that. Just stand by. I just set up Wiimotes as light guns on my Pi 5. Oh, that is cool, Terrapin. That is really cool. hear a character turning around, waving his hand, saying, hey, you, while lower. Hey, Mislav. Mislav's one of our executive producers. And not only does he support at the executive producer level, he's helping with the super chats today. So thank you so much for that, Mislav. Mislav, if you will notice in his chat profile, he has a couple of unique icons. One of them is as a executive producer of the channel. He gets a little, it's not a wrench anymore. It's like this special logo that shows that he can boot you guys. He can post links. He's got special privileges. He is a man of special skills, as we like to say. He also is our longest serving member. You look next to his name, you'll also see a little 2-year logo or emoji. And that's a custom emoji just for him because he's the only one who's ever been a member for 2 years. And he's got a special surprise coming when he reaches 3 years. So if you'd like those kinds of surprises, we'll talk about that later. So Mislav, thank you so much. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Tonight for him, today for some of us, right? So thanks again. Really love that you're here. And it's always good to have our executive producer here. Let's see, where did I leave off? Mega 65 news and some Coco as well. Hey guys, I am currently in Miami. We'll join you. Oh, wow. Miami. Holy smokes. You didn't tell us you were in the US. Holy cow. Subscribe to both as well. Thank you, PC Expert. Always appreciate that. I am now making a Whopper simulator from War Games on one of my Raspberry Pis. Craig, do you have a presence anywhere? We need to see where you're posting all this stuff. Don't just ask to play any games. Yeah. Would you like to play a game? So don't do that. All right, very cool. Hey, let's go into, you know what? I forgot to do it again. I don't believe it. I had these guys right here, and I always forget to do the news or the gear one when I'm unboxing. So we just did gear. So now we're going to go to, I need some sound. News. Let's talk about the latest retro news. So let me go ahead and I am going to queue up our news items. Here we go. We'll get started. I think it's right. Is this our first one? Yes. Let's talk about our first news item. First news item is an update, and there was some mention in chat about the ZX Spectrum Next issue 3. And I think I've told most of you that I supported the Kickstarter 2, but for this one, I got the board upgrade. So I'm really looking forward to the board as it comes in. Plus, the really cool thing about the Kickstarter board support is you got all the other benefits with it as well. I just don't get the case, which I don't need a case. I've got one. Now, admittedly, the ZX Spectrum is not a love of mine. I didn't grow up with it, but I am ZX Spectrum curious for sure. And I've had a blast with it. So when that board arrives, we will probably swap those out live during a live stream, and then we'll check it out. So the good news is we are closer than ever to the KS3 being actually released and shipped. Parts are coming in, pieces are there, things are happening. So I think we're looking at probably by Christmas, most of us should have our ZX Spectrum either issue 3 computers or our boards. I kind of expect the boards to ship early, but maybe not. I also ordered my board, I think, did I order it with a Raspberry Pi? I don't remember. I cannot remember. I'll probably just pull the Raspberry Pi out of the other one, put it in. By the way, I did do a video on upgrading the Kickstarter 2 with a Raspberry Pi. So if you want to see that and see what that process is, you can take a look at that. You can see we have some we have some new firmware. We have an SD card update. Next ZX OS 2.1 is wrapping up. That's going to be kind of cool. Symb OS ships is shipping now. And then there's some accelerated development. So I wanted to make sure that everybody just kind of keeping up with that. I'm excited about it. I think a lot of people are excited about it. So that is our first news item. If you have any thoughts on the KS3, or you have ordered one, put that in the chat below. I'd love to hear that. And before we go too far, I have to do it because I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I will keep it up just for you. What do you think Perry Commodore will do after the C64C? And he wants, my goodness, do you know you're paying $20 for my opinion? Nobody wants my opinion, let alone spend $20 for it. But here's what I don't know. I absolutely don't. Here's what I'm thinking. Maybe it's not what do I think, but what would I like? Or maybe it's a combination. I know there's a lot of interest. Everybody keeps talking about the Commodore 128. I don't think that's it. I also don't think that it will be anything in the TED series, the C16 or the Plus 4. I don't think that'll be it either. I think the next big thing we're going to see is Amiga related. That is my guess. I think the next big thing we're going to... Now, my dream, what I really want is I want Bill Hurd to come out of retirement and recreate that laptop that he started. The portable. That's what I really want. And I made a joke in our chat, in our Discord chat about, oh, the next one, because we have to keep up with the Commodore line, the C64 line, the next one will be a new ZX64 and we have to lug that thing around everywhere. But I don't think that'll be it. Yes, Evil J, they don't have rights to the Amiga trademarks. No, they don't. But I do suspect that something around the Amiga is coming soon. And we're going to talk about, hold that thought. We'll come back to that in just a minute. But again, thank you so much for the super chat. Wow. How generous you all have been today. I really appreciate all of you jumping in there to help offset my monthly cost, as we'll talk about here in a minute. All right, let's go back here and let's see if I can do this without, I think it's this one. Oh, that was the wrong one. Dag nabbit. There we go. It's this one. And I just closed a window over here that I meant to keep going. Hold on just a second. Let me get my studio back up here so I can keep an eye on all of you. That shouldn't take long. Okay, so the next news, did I do that right? I thought, yeah, it is next. The next news, of course, is, and this is why I really appreciate every super chat that's coming my way. So not meaning to beg, but I'm just saying, the C64C Ultimate, we've all been talking about it in chat already. We're all wondering what the next big thing was. Well, the next big thing turned out to be the next old thing. It is just the recreation of the C64C. Now, what's interesting about this, though, that I really do love, is they have acquired the original molds. If you've had a chance to see that video, check that out. And they have built these new C64Cs, Starlight and Founders, on the new molds, complete with creasing and some other imperfections. I dig that. I will say I really like that. I know a lot of people are really ticked off, especially the ones who have bought, I wouldn't say ticked off, disappointed, probably a better word, because they bought the C64 Ultimate bread bin, and probably they would have preferred the C64C Ultimate. I mean, I always love that form factor much more than the bread bin. I own a C64C. We've seen it on the channel. It's in really great shape. But I couldn't help myself. As a matter of fact, I was in our Discord debating, do I want the beige Starlight or Founders? And I kind of got away from the beige because I do believe if you are going to do any of these new ones, unless you just really want that, the Starlight is your best bet because you get that fun LED look with all of your games. And you're going to see that today when we go into ours. So this is what the Starlight is what I purchased first. 24 hours later, I said, why would I do that? Why would I do the Starlight? Because I was torn between the beige, which is the original look, and the Starlight. Why would I do that? Why wouldn't I just go here? Because what I found was, as I look at the Founders and the beige, it was close enough to the beige that I really liked it, but it gave me the LEDs that the Starlight gives, but it also says, or does for me, I get to continue the Founders Edition line, because if you don't know, the C64 Ultimate I bought is the Founders Edition, so you get a chance to see that during the live stream today. We looked at it in several previous live streams, but I just really, I don't know, for some reason, I really like the look of the C64 Ultimate Founders. Again, it harkens more back to the original than the Starlight, but I get that cool kind of gold, so I'm really excited about, that's the one I bought, which that's the reason I spent a lot more money than I needed to this month. But the whole frustrating part about this was, and if you look at the early chats in the stream, a lot of folks, the purchasing or the shopping system on this website is a mess right now. Right now, it currently shows that I have both of these, although I've hit, at first, I couldn't even cancel the Starlight. Then I hit, if the cancel option finally showed up, I hit canceled and it stayed there. I hit cancel again, it stayed there. I refreshed my screen, I logged out, logged back in, hit cancel. It's still there. So the Founders Edition looks like the Vatican Edition. That's hilarious, Terrapin. You know, you're kind of right. It does look like the Vatican Edition, doesn't it? It does, yeah, surprisingly. So they need to do some work. I've actually even had an email I had to send to support to say, hey, make sure you cancel my Starlight. Now I'm concerned that they're unfortunately going to cancel this one. So who knows? They need to, that's one thing I'm a little disappointed in Commodore. There are so many good shopping, like Shopify. They could have partnered with Shopify to do this and manage all that. But anyway, so there you go. Really big news. I'm curious in chat. How many of you are out there? I got to get back to my dashboard here. Hold on just a second. Let me get back to my dashboard. Looks like we have, oh wow, it's picked up. We picked up some viewers. So we've got about 40 of you watching. Thank you to those 40 of you watching. But I'm curious, out of those 40 of you who are watching, yeah, thank you for that, Beatles. Of those watching, which one did you order or did you not order? I'd love to know your thoughts. Tell me, are you a little upset about that came out so soon? Do you think that was the right thing? Do we not? I think it probably was what everybody was expecting. The next big thing would be something that would be easy for them. It's a continuation. Everybody wanted this one. A lot of people wanted this one. And again, I think what makes this unique is they were able to find the original molds. And I think that is pretty cool. I honestly kind of wish the C64C would have been their first launch. Maybe that wouldn't have been the right, I don't know. I think it would have sold probably better than the bread bins at first. Just little something from Retro Combs. That's what Steven's thinking right now. So tell me your thoughts in the chat below. We'd love to know that. Now, let me go back over here and make sure I don't do what I just did. We'll come back to the chat here in just a minute and check on what you guys are thinking here. But let's go to our next one, which is, yeah, here's another one. So here we go. The C64 handheld. Yes, I purchased it. I have a problem, folks. But thankfully, because of all of you and your support of the channel, I have this opportunity to be able to buy these things and bring them to you during live streams and prepared videos. So I did order the C64 handheld. Now, I also know that there's a few of you who love the ZX Spectrum. The ZX Spectrum handheld is available. I did not order that one. That one did not speak to me or resonate like the C64, although I feel like I need it, so I will have every Retro Games system, but I did not order the Spectrum. So what do you get? Basically what you're getting is a the C64 with an IPS screen and a clamshell design. Looks like it was well thought out. As you can see, we have our, that's an interesting little button there. Look, can I blow this? Yeah, let's go. It looks like we have our function keys here so that we can start games. We have start, select, and a menu item here. So hopefully they've taken care of all the things that may require a space bar or whatever. Interestingly, they chose an A, B, Y, and X configuration because most Commodore games are a single button. So I don't know what they're thinking there. I guess they've mapped those maybe to other things, but joystick has always been a single button affair. So I'm a little, not concerned, but just interested why that configuration. It does have an SD card slot, which means that we will be able to plug in our own ROMs, probably just like we do on the C64. And here's a little blow up of that. The other nice thing is there is a USB port on the back along with the USB-C. The USB-A is for a keyboard, so we can plug up a keyboard, which would be kind of cool. I feel like there's going to be a lot of mods of this thing. I feel people are going to be modding this thing out. And of course you have this right here. So who of you purchased the C64 handheld? Well, you didn't purchase it. You pre-ordered it and it looks like it's shipping and will ship around October in time for Halloween. Looks like our Halloween live stream might be featuring the C64 handheld. Now, I don't know how we would do that during a live stream. Maybe that'll just be a prepared video. We will figure that out when and if it ever arrives. All right. So let me go ahead and go back. We got a couple more news items and we'll come back into chat. Let me just kind of go up here. My C64 EU is not registered at the site. See, there you go. Just a lot of weirdness happening there. Which one is the right C64 to buy? The C64C Starlight would be my normal recommendation for most. If you don't need the LEDs, get the beige. I would not spend the extra money on the Founders. Speaking from a guy who spent the extra money on the Founders. Again, just because I wanted to keep it clear. But that would be my recommendation. Others in chat may persuade you a different way. I got to say, though, that beige original version looks phenomenal. Actually, again, I just always love the C64C variant because I was a big Commodore 128 fan as well. And I just love both of those designs. I thought those were some of the best designs. Just sleek, look good, loved it. I got the beige, Boomer Man Dan Webb says, and Founders bread bin. Oh, you got one of each. Interesting. So Beatles, I'm still on the fence, not sure which one to get. like I said in Discord, decisions. We got to make a decision soon. You can be waiting a long time. And if you wait too long, then they're going to have the next big thing. And you're going to wish you had purchased. And so you know how it goes. As soon as let's see. Oh, Haley Zero's here. Hey, good to have you here. Zero's been here before. I have an Ultimate Elite 2 from Giddings Logic. I love it, but the new Commodore models are very nice. They are very, very nice. These handhelds are gorgeous. They do look good, don't they? And, you know, I have to say, Retro Games Ltd does a good job. Not going to lie. I think I have pretty much everything they've made except that ZX Spectrum handheld. I guess I'm going to have to break down eventually and get it. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I wish that's the one thing, you know, one of the things I love over on the tech channel is I can reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm interested in reviewing it. Would you send it to me? And they send it to me, which is really cool. It's less in the retro. Commodore's not sending me anything. Retro Games Ltd isn't sending me. I guess I just don't have enough viewers. So, but that's not what matters, because you guys have been so generous in helping me get those things for you so that I can share them. Hello from Italy. Okay. Capino, good to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Excellent, man. We are just multinational today, aren't we? I love it. I got the basic beige bread bin and probably will not be getting the CSX64 color case from individual computers. I get that. Let me go back here. I think Capino, I'm pretty sure this is your first time with us. I think you might be our first Italian viewer now that I think about it. So welcome from Italy. Welcome to Italy, rather. Where do you buy these handhelds? I've got a link down in the video description. As a matter of fact, typically Craig and everybody else, I put all the links down in the video description. You can go down there and find that. They're not affiliate. I don't think that one is not affiliate link. So you don't even, I don't get any, I just provide that as a source of resource for you, as well as all the news items that I'm talking about today. All the links are down in the video description below, so make sure you grab those. Craig Magner, there are only 2 real C64s, both from Commodore. The THEC64 by Retro Games is just an emulator and a keyboard. That is correct, Stuart. The handhelds look a lot like Herd's LCD. They're close. You're not wrong. They're not close. The other thing I love about the LCD computer, and thank you, that is the LCD computer, is I really want to see the software that was in those. I was a big Tandy Model 100. Is that what it was? Yeah, back in the day. And would have loved to have seen what the software was like on those Commodore LCDs. That would have been cool. Amazon should have pre-orders. I don't think they do. I think you have to go to the Funko. Anyway, the link's down below. I think that's the only place you can get it in the United States. There's also a European version as well. The handhelds look like a cheap knockoff you can buy in China. I don't know, maybe. They're probably made in China. Honestly, and probably use the same boards that are in the C64 minis would be my guess. And all they're doing is adding the LCD screen and putting some buttons and wiring them in. That's my guess. There's probably not a lot of engineering into that for sure. I might pre-order the C64. I recommend that. I hope they allow you to map keyboard. Yeah, me too. Now, the current software doesn't allow you to do that. So it'd also be interesting to see if the carousel is alive. I assume that is. And if it looks just like the other C64s. Denmark here. Outstanding. Yeah, see, we're getting all of our countries covered. It feels like handhelds were created to strike it when it's hot. I still look at it as a positive to raise awareness for Commodore. I'm a little curious why Commodore hasn't said, hey, we want a piece of that, or have they started that yet? You remember when Commodore first started, they said, we're going to get a piece of everything the Commodore related. And I don't know if they're doing that with Retro Games Ltd or not. I hope so. But I would hope eventually Commodore would rein all this back in. And if we get a handheld, we get it from Commodore. That's what I want. I want it from Commodore. And again, I think that can happen. Retro Games can be a subsidiary or providing. I think that's possible. Sorry, I misunderstood the original question. No problem. Let's see. Waiting for the C128 Ultimate. I know, cutie, honey. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if that's a thing. Maybe that'll be their next thing, but I'm still guessing it'll be something Amiga related. Maybe not. Haha, very true. If it were too long to be able to decide. Yep. Hey, Vintage Technology. Hey, hello back to you. Good to have you back. We have someone from Sweden. Good to have you here, Andre. Thanks again. I'm back. I'm back from Miami. Mislav. Okay, gotcha. Got it. I'm from Italy. Okay, perfect. You have many followers in Italy. Hey guys, I'm popular in Italy. How about that? Love it. I'll take popularity anywhere. All 2 of you in Italy. Thank you so much for making me popular in Italy. I follow you from the very first Mega 65 video. Oh yeah. Love my Mega 65 community. I used to make comments. Oh, Fabio. Yes, I remember that. Then I don't know. Yeah. So everything on YouTube changed in those, but I do remember you now. Thank you for reminding me. That's outstanding. Nothing wrong with the game list on the handheld. Oh, you know, I didn't talk about the game list. There are some pretty good games. Most of them are homebrews, it looked like. So that's really cool. I love that. Interesting that the handhelds are coming from Blaze of the Evercade fame and not the Retro Games, even though they're using the Retro Games trademark. Again, some of this weird partnering, right, to get these things done. And Evercade actually has Commodore 64 cartridges that you can put in your Evercade. I actually did a video on the Atari version of the Evercade and showed you Commodore 64 games in it on one of my other videos. So there you go. Do you have an original Commodore mouse? I do not. No, I do. On the Amiga. I'm sorry, I do. I do have one of those, but I don't have one of the ones for the C64. What we did find during the last stream is that this mouse right here works really well with the C64 Ultimate. It's a really inexpensive. I didn't put a link in this live stream notes, but I did in the last one. I'll try and go back in and put that in there. If you're looking for a mouse that we know works, this one is actually it. So this is the Cinda mouse. So let me go back here. Let's see, we got a couple more news items. We need to do that and then move on. I did not know that. Thanks for the info about retro games. What 50 plus? Holy smokes. Look at me. I am cooking with gas now, folks. Thank you, all 50 of you. Thanks for joining. And you're here just in time. We're getting ready to get to the firmware. Hang in there. The advert popped up just as you were about to tell me the right choice. Daggone ads. You know, YouTube is getting a lot of flack right now. They are pushing a lot more ads. We're going to have to see ways that we can fix that. Now, I think my members, do you see ads? I think that's supposed to be a feature of you being a member to my channel is you don't see ads. So if you are a member and seeing ads, let me know. If not, maybe there's a setting I need to check, but we'll check on that in a little bit. Commodore should create a modern gamepad so that I don't have to buy Atari ones. There you go. Oh, wow. Taro says he does see ads even though he's a member. And then Beetle says, I do not get ads at all. And then Mislov has premium. Yeah, I have premium too, so I never see those, so I couldn't tell. Yeah, sorry about that. Back to the C64, I grew up with the C64C and never had a bread bin. That's a reason why I'm more interested in the C64 Ultimate Beige found. Got it. All right, let's go back and finish up our news. We only have a few more items. So let's do that. Let me make sure I'm over here and don't close everything out like I did before. The other thing, this is so cool. If you're a fan of the channel, you know one of my favorite games of all time. There's two, Galaga and Zaxxon. I was constantly in my community. I had the top score in Zaxxon on the local arcade machine, and there was only one in the small community where I lived. And one of the things I will say is when Atari came out with their official Zaxxon version for the Atari 2600, I was so disappointed. It was not a good version. It barely looked like Zaxxon. It was more of a third person straight on. It didn't have the isometric look to it. I don't know if anybody else remembers that, but it was not a fun game. But if I had seen this Atari 2600 version of Zaxxon is amazing. Now I've turned the sound off. I guess I could turn it on, but they'll be talking. I'll tell you what, I'll turn it on here just a little bit because I do want you to hear some of it. Hold on. Let me put my headphones on so I can hear what you're hearing. Let's see. Get the sound here.
Zaxxon. So if you go to the left or right, so there's the
Rich.
If you haven't figured out yet.
Okay, I'm going to move up just a little bit, but check this out. Folks, this is on an Atari 2600.
Oh my God.
So this is using the same method that we use in Turbo Arcade. It's 4 colors.
Okay.
If you know, you can start to figure out the maneuvers.
So let me, here we go.
But it's like there's a lot happening because as soon as you do one thing, you don't have to worry about one thing. But then, you know, like you fly low.
Of course, the guy playing it isn't that great.
Yeah, there is. You have to choose.
So I'm going to go ahead and mute that. But check this out. This is again, this is just amazing that they're able to do this on an Atari 2600. And again, had this been the version that was released, this thing would have sold, I don't know how many Atari 2600s. I know we have the luxury of looking behind now and being able to push these devices beyond their limits and do more things than they've ever done and, you know, do some quirks with the cartridges and things. But I wanted to share this with you. If you haven't seen this, check out this video. I don't push a lot of videos, and I'm not really pushing the video. I'm actually pushing the game. I can't wait for it to be released. But I mean, look at it. It is so accurate to the original. You know, it's got the blocky look, of course, that we would expect on an Atari 2600, but it even has the altitude indicator. And again, the satellite and the explosions are very similar. So I'm just amazed at that particular homebrew. So curious if you're just as amazed as I am, but wow, that just is phenomenal, folks. So let's see what you guys thought about that one. Let me go back to my chat here. There we go. Let's see. Yeah. Wow. On a 2600, that looks amazing. That's what I think. I thought that was definitely worth bringing to you all. I imagine Bread Bin was made. Oh, they were definitely. Yeah. Dang, those graphics are great on a 2600. I was happy playing Adventure. Imagine what they would do with Adventure nowadays. Boomer Dan, man, they could do some really fun stuff, I think. Who would have thought that is? I never would have even guessed. And I'd love to, and so if you go in, he'll talk a little bit more about how they made it possible. And there's some things we probably didn't know back in the day, obviously. Amazing what you can do when you have a CPU in the cartridge calculating new backgrounds at way higher megahertz than the console can do. Isn't it? It is great. I love it. Younger me would have played that to death. Yeah. Younger me would have never left the house. I would have been all over that. I just love that game. I can't tell you how much between that and again, Galaga. And I was often the top score on that one too, playing. That's what I heard. Hopefully they do. Let's see. I just got the Starlight Ultimate Bread Bin a month ago. I would have waited. Yes, Victor, of course. I know, right? Really nice port. I agree. Never been a fan of the 2600, but that game is playing mind tricks on me. Yeah, Jedi. This is the game you're looking for. How about that? A little May the 4th Eve be with you reference. How about that? I know, right? But they offer PayPal payments. But oh yes, I think you guys are talking about something. All right, so there you go. All right, let's see. We've got one more thing. And I think it's one more thing. And this actually leans, oh, there it is. There's some more of those graphics. I don't know if I can pull myself away from the screen. Check it out, guys. Look how good that looks. That is just amazing. Look at that. I mean, there's so many different characters as well. And even the non-playing, the scenery is just, wow. That is something. I can't wait to play. Oh, look. And then we've got this other level with different colors. This is amazing. Anyway, I get distracted every time I watch this thing. I can't wait to play this. I don't think it's released yet. I think that's the thing we're getting ready to release it, but this, I don't care. They've got my money on this one. So this is definitely going to be here. Okay. And then the last thing we were going to talk about, because this leads into the last news item, is why we're protective of our Commodore 64 Ultimate FPGA. So as you may know, we're talking about Spiffy firmware today. And there are two ways you can use Spiffy. There's actually a firmware replacement for the official firmware, and there's a patch. I will tell you today we're doing the patch, so we'll talk more about that when we get there. But originally when Spiffy was released, Commodore came out with a pretty strong statement saying, we think we're going to lock down these systems so that you can't put alternative firmware on our devices. That caused a backlash. It was a pretty big backlash within the Commodore community because, let's face it, had it not been for the community, Commodore would not be back. And so anything you're doing that is going to stop them from their full enjoyment of your product is not a good thing right now. Plus, we don't want Commodore to become an Apple, Microsoft, who else? I don't name your consumer product person who has something locked down. And good news was several weeks later, after, Perry Frantic sitting back thinking about what he had done, they reversed course and said, okay, hack away, firmware away. However, just be aware that if you brick your system because you use an alternative firmware, that we're not going to offer customer support, and which completely fair. Completely 100% fair. The other good news, though, is that with Spiffy, that's likely not going to happen. And we'll talk about that when we get there. So that's kind of the drama that was around the Spiffy DOS and the firmware. Now, they never I don't believe, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't believe they ever specifically called out Spiffy firmware. They just said firmware in general. Of course, we know it was a reaction to Spiffy firmware being released, but they never called out. So in some ways that was a classy move too originally, but it was too much. It was just way too much at the very beginning to say, that's it, we're locking it down, none of this business anymore. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What did you think about that when you heard that? Were you as infuriated as everybody on X was and everywhere else and the message boards and all that? And I think that was our last one. Is that right? Yes. And so that's going to lead us into our topic for today, which is we are going to run Spiffy firmware on and let's just go ahead and reveal right here, my Commodore C64 Ultimate Founders Edition. That is the plan. So it is actually already loaded on here. And but before we do that, I want to go through, because some of you have patiently been waiting, and some of you know what's coming up. Yes, that's right. We're going to go to the the PBS version of the show, the public broadcasting. We'll talk to you about how you can support the channel. Many of you have already done that today. You've supported the channel by going down below and doing a super chat. Some of you are saying, hey, RetroCombs, I really love this chat room. The folks in this chat room are just so cool. They're the people I love. They're the people I like. Well, you know what? You can have access to many of these folks are in chat 24/7 if you'd like to do that, or if they want to be available 24/7. And you can do that by joining my Discord. Now, the only way you can get into the Discord is if you go down below. So there's some membership options down below, and they go all the way from PET to VIC-20 to Commodore 64 to Commodore 128 to +4, all the way up to Mega C128 and then Mega 65. So there's lots of different options. So you just go in there and you say, oh, I like these perks, or I like that perk, or you know what, I really want to support him. I want to be able to help him in the chat room. You can go all the way up to an executive producer level, which is Mega 65. But most of you are probably just more interested in, hey, how do I get that Discord? Because you all sound kind of fun. And we are. We like our little Discord. And it's great. And the reason that we require people to pay to get in there is because we don't want a random open room where anybody can just come in and wreak havoc. We want people who are going to be respectful of each other, supportive of each other, appreciative of each other and the projects they're working on. And we just found that the best way to do that is if we only limit it to membership. So if you go down there and choose PET, that will not get you in. Okay. You need to come in at the VIC-20 level, but hey, that's only $2 a month. It's pretty inexpensive. It's less than a cup of coffee nowadays. And you can go down and do that through a YouTube VIC-20 membership. That will then get you access to a community forum that only members have access to. And in there, you will find a Discord invite that you can join. So that's the way it's supposed to work. If you can't find that, all you have to do is email me, retrocombs@icloud.com. I should put that on this thing right here. Yeah. retrocombs@icloud.com, and I'll make sure you get in. If you have a Discord account already, you don't even have to email me. You can just ping me on Discord and say, here you go. I'll verify your membership, and then I'll get you in. Okay. So that is it. And I really appreciate all of our supporters, because again, it helps me buy all these things to bring to you, and it lets the lovely accountant continue to support me doing this so that I'm not taking money out of our big account upstairs. So especially as I get closer to retirement, that's getting more and more important. So there you go. So there's my all public access or public broadcasting announcement. Let's go ahead and just check in chat before we go in and we play with some Spiffy firmware. Let's see. They should do Blue Max on the 2600. That would be a good one too. That was a really good game. Reminds me of the SNES simulator cart they made for the NES that does nothing but really pass through video from computer to cart. It kind of is very similar, right? Don't forget, after May the 4th, we get Revenge of the... You know, I did not know that, Beatles. Is that a thing? Revenge of the 6th? I love that. So we got 4th, we take a break, and then Revenge of the 6th. I love that. So many peaks and pokes, for sure. Just pre-ordered the C64C Ultimate Beige Edition. Well, Motorati, I hope I didn't persuade you to do that, but welcome to the club. Good to have you. That makes a great Christmas already, no doubt. No doubt. That would be great. Speaking of, those of you who've been following know that I gave RetroCat, who's my daughter, a C64 Beige, and we've been unable to connect because it came in after Christmas. She's finally going to get it on the 14th of May. So we might do some video. So we'll see. We'll see if that happens. I believe it was just firmware. So can some tell me, is the Breadbuck 64 and C64 the same machine? But yes, just different cases. Completely the same, except the case. That's the only difference. I'm glad they are retracting allowed to be open. I do too. I think it was bad look the first time. I do believe that some users were installing firmware designed for the Ultimate 64 rather than staying with the official. Yes. Did it brick them? I don't know. I wonder if that bricked them. Wonder if it worked. Curious. It's basically the same board. I complained about their BIOS lockdown plans on their website too. Well, good for you. Good for you. Tell them. They had to back down. Not like all teenage pirates are. Yeah. I said, let the crack toes begin when I posted it, because I just figured now we're going to have unofficial firmware that's going to have crack toes in front of it, sending greetings to everybody. I have to press space bar before the firmware actually loads. That's what I just anticipated was going to happen again, just like when we were all floppy disk copying back in the day. So retirement. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about, man. All the teenage pirates are now captains, commodores, and admirals. I love it. Let's see. Worded my last Commodore or comment badly. Nothing wrong with the unofficial firmware as long as it's meant to be. Yeah, gotcha. Has anyone used Assembly 64? No, I have not. We're going to take a look at Assembly 64 here in a minute. I didn't know you could do it through a bash shell. That's kind of interesting. I have used it from running Spiffy Patch, yep, which we're going to be doing here in just a minute. Love to try it on Windows. And then finally, before we go in here, yeah, not exactly. Okay. Stephen, let's see. Oh, good to have you here. So let's go ahead and let's dig in, folks, shall we? So here's what we're going to do. First thing I want to do is I'm going to fire up the Commodore 64, and hopefully you guys don't mind. I'm just going to call it the Commodore 64, okay, if you don't mind. So I just really want to do that right now. So we're going to go ahead and turn it on. Boom. It is on, and then we'll go over to our retro view here, and we're booted. Now to remember, what we're looking at is we're looking at changing the firmware. So I want to show you a little bit about the old firmware. By the way, most of you may know that if you hit the little button here, that you get the little menu right here. What I didn't know, if you all knew though, is if you hit Commodore and Restore, that actually turns the menu on and off too. Check this out. Commodore Restore, off, on, and I have found that so much better than using this little thing on the side over here. So is that one that you like? So that's pretty cool. Now that's just regular firmware too. That's not, it's normal right here. So, oh, by the way, D74NL, thank you for becoming a member. He became a member. He is now a Commodore 64 Sprites Edition member of the channel. Thank you for that. You should be able to find that link for the Discord down in the comments, or not comments, go to the community link down below, look for member only comments, and it should pop up and you should have access to that. Again, if not, reach out to me and I will get that taken care of. retrocombs@icloud.com. Good to have you. Super duper. Added another member, had some great super chats early on. So thank you guys. You guys are doing a great job today supporting. So here's some of the things that are going to change. Now, it does come with a lot of changes, and we'll be talking about those, but let me just talk a little bit about kind of what Spiffy is. So let me get my notes up here so I don't forget something. So the history of this was Spiffy Firmware was created early in March 2026, initially for 3.14 Pi Day, right? It was quickly updated to firmware 1.1, so it was a second version. And I love the team. The team, you ready? I don't know if you guys know this. At least this is from what I found in my research. The firmware was coded by Nifty, soft patched by Snazzy, and tested by Zippy. So we've got Nifty, Snazzy, and Zippy helping us out here with our Spiffy software patch. This is why the Commodore community is so much fun. Now, why it exists, what it does is it's designed to fix some of the annoyances with the original firmware. Some of those include the CommoServe, which isn't really full featured, so they've added Assembly 64. We'll take a look at that. Also add some hotkeys. So, much like if you're on a Mac and you hit Command whatever, or Windows whatever, you now get some Commodore whatevers, and we'll talk about those a little bit. It's very easy to apply. You can do this two ways. You can apply the firmware, and you can apply the patch. Today we'll be doing the patch, but I got to tell you, I'm thinking about doing the official firmware. The good news is if you do the firmware, to revert to the old firmware it doesn't lock you from going backwards or using different firmware, the Commodore 64U. You just make sure that have that old firmware on your USB drive, which in my case, you can see it right here. I've got a little USB drive right here. So I've got both the patch and the original 1.1 firmware. So if something were to go wrong, I could at least redo it, but I could put the Spiffy firmware on here too and go between the two, or even, you know, go between all three of them. So you're not locked in if you choose to do the firmware. I don't want you to be afraid of it. You can always revert back, okay? And like I said, I think I'm going to go ahead and go with the Spiffy firmware because Assembly 64 is amazing, folks, as I'm going to show you here in just a minute. So how do we do this? Now, let's go back in. I did want to show you just a couple of things. Again, I'm going to hit Commodore Restore. The new Spiffy patch, remember, is going to allow us to use some Commodore keys, and we'll try a few of those. What happens with the patch is, as soon as you power cycle with the patch leaves RAM. So what's happening is the patch is loading from the USB to the RAM on the FPGA board, sits there, and then when we power cycle, it goes away. So when you power cycle, the patch is gone. So if I hit power cycle, boom, we're back to it. I would have to load that patch again. It's kind of an annoyance. It's only a power cycle. It doesn't happen when you reset. It's still there when you reset, but it is kind of an annoyance that when you power it off, then you have to go back and repatch it every time, which is why I think it's probably valuable for the actual features that you get. I think you're going to find that. Okay. So let's walk through this process and see how it works. Now, again, I've already loaded this. I've got a link down below in the video description where you can get the patch. So you'll find that. You put it on the root, and actually, technically, it doesn't have to be on the root. And they'll also tell you to put it on a blank USB. This is not blank. This is far from blank. This has a ton of stuff. I just have the patch in the root. It works fine. So once you do that, then what we're going to do is come over here. I'm going to Commodore Restore, bring up our menu. Now, also, if you've not already done so, this menu can take up the whole screen, or you can have this little smaller on-screen display. This is not the default. I did change it so I have this small little on-screen display. Then what we're going to do is go to our disk file browser. Now, one thing I want you to notice right now is look at CommoServe file search right here, because when we change to the new firmware, that's not going to be there anymore. I don't want you to get afraid that, uh-oh, what happened? It's still going to be there, but it's a little deeper. So what we're going to do is go to our disk file browser. Oh, and the other thing I should mention too while I'm talking about it, the patch will let us use the joystick on either joystick port to control the menu. On the original official patch, it's only one. So, you know, again, just a lot of little user things that make this really nice. I'm kind of hoping that maybe they'll merge, or Commodore will steal some of the ideas, because some of it is better. Okay. So then we're going to go to disk file browser. Okay. So here, you know, one of the other things too, I want to do eventually, there is an SD card slot that there's an SD card slot in here, and I want to put an SD card in there and load it up once I get my USB drive all done. But right now I'm using this Cruiser Spark USB drive. So we hit that, we're going to enter that. And then you can see all kinds of files, you know, from live streams and everything else. But if we go down here, you can see here is the official C64U version 1.1.0. And you'll know it's the firmware because it'll be the UE2 extension. Okay. So here's the patch. This is the Spiffy soft patch. If it were the firmware, I think it says Spiffy Firmware 1.1. And they kind of have to match. And what I mean is the patch has to be 1.1 to sit on top of the original 1.1 version. Okay. So as you're getting this all ready, make sure that you have the 1.1 patch, but you've also upgraded to the version 1.1 firmware. Okay. I've beat that to death. Let's apply it. Here we go. All right. Now, those of you that have watched RetroCombs live streams in the past know that things typically go awry. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it'll go. We're going to hit enter, and then we're going to get this right here. It automatically recognizes that that's an update. So we're going to say, hey, run the update. Here we go. Boom. And then you get this wonderful menu right here. And it says, the board is this, compatibility is okay. So it will tell you if you had the right firmware. So pretty smooth. Let's launch Spiffy. Everybody ready? We're going to hit enter and it is going to launch Spiffy. It shouldn't take too long. Let's see. And you'll notice at the bottom, patch applied to RAM only. Power cycle restores. One moment, poke, 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 poke. And there you go. Now it doesn't look like much happened, right? But I'm going to hit Commodore and restore again. And you remember what was under disk file browser? Remember that was CommoServe? Well, now look at it. Now it's Internet File Search. So it is working. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And we're going to check a few things right here. Now, supposedly, if I hit Commodore and X, it will do a reset. So we're going to try that. Now, reset should not clear the firmware. If we hit Commodore Z here, then it should be a reboot. If we hit Commodore B, that's a full cycle power cycle, or that's a full power cycle. We don't want to hit that during the demo today, or we'll have to reapply it. Commodore J will swap your joystick, so you don't have to go in the menu to do it. That just seems very natural and like it should. And then a Commodore Home will take you back to your current, or will set your current directory as home on your USB. And then home, you go to your home directory on your USB when you're using your file browser. So again, just some really great quality improvements. The one thing I have not figured out is Control-C and Control-V do copy and paste, but I don't know how to select it. So if anybody knows how to select using copy and paste, let me know. But I have not figured out how you do a selection to know what you're copying and pasting. So I'll try and figure that out. But for today, unless you guys know, let me know what you think. So let's try a reset. We're going to try a reset, guys. So let's go back in here, and the reset is Commodore X. Let's see what happens. I'm going to hold down Commodore. I'm going to tap X. That did not do it. Let's see. That didn't do it. Is it just Commodore and then X? Nope. So for whatever reason, that didn't work. Interesting. Commodore Z is supposed to be a reboot. Let's try that. Commodore Z. Yeah, nothing there. That's interesting because the Commodore would have to be the, that doesn't make any sense to me, because if we look, Commodore Z is that character. That's interesting. Use spacebar to select files. Oh, I see. Spacebar to select files. Gotcha. Okay. So maybe it's in the menu that those work. So if we go here and then hit Commodore X, there we go. So you need to have the menu displayed. It's not going to work just normally. So you can see that did that. Let's reboot. Let's do a Commodore Z to reboot. There we go. So that's how that works. So you need to have your menu displayed in order to reboot. So basically what's happening is it's saving you from having to go all the way down here and make those selections. Okay. So that's cool. So then that means that all these other ones probably work in here. So Commodore J would swap your joystick. Commodore O would power off. Commodore Home would set your home. Let's try the copy and paste here. So if we go to our disk browser, if we go here, let's enter that. If we hit our space, so that selects it. So then what we could do is copy and then paste that. So you can see the little diamond next to that. So we figured it out. Thank you guys. I appreciate that. That is very helpful. This is why I love doing these things live, because you all help me figure these things out. Outstanding. Thank you guys for that. Let's go back here. Okay, home. Yeah, it worked. I hit home and it went right back to the home menu, which is perfect. So usability for the Spiffy patch, it does make things a lot better. Now let's go to the thing that's really exciting here. So I'm gonna go back here. Let me go back. Yeah, there we go. And remember, CommoServe I said went away, but if we click here or enter here, you see we have CommoServe right here. But that's only about 10% of what this offers, Assembly 64. Assembly 64 pulls from the Commodore, the CSDB, the Commodore, what does the S stand for? Commodore S database, Commodore CSDB. What is the S in Commodore in CSDB? Somebody help me there. Love to know what that is. So let's go ahead and go into our Assembly 64. And you can see we have a very similar thing, but we also have a lot more options. So we can search for all kinds of stuff. Now, I've selected some things here. I was trying to find some really fun things. Commodore software, why wouldn't I know that? Taro, thank you for making me feel like a total just buffoon right now. Of course, software, Commodore software database. Thank you. Okay, all of you can heckle me down in chat. Just have at it. You know what it's like. All I'll say is, hey, you try and do this live and try to remember everything at my age. There you go. Just kidding. But anyway, that's perfect. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go into Assembly 64. Let's try. I'll tell you what. Let's do this. Let's make this the interactive portion. If you've got something that you want us to try on CSDB or just an old title that you want to look at, put that in chat. We'll see if it's available and we'll go from there. But I have a couple of things. Let's see. There's a couple of demos I've heard, and these are demos I've not actually tried, but I've heard they're pretty good. I want to try this one first. Oops. Let me go back up here. I did the wrong thing. So let me go here. And let's go back into assembly, and we're going to hit here, and I'm going to type aloft. Evidently, this is supposed to be a really good demo. I am not familiar with it. And then we'll come down here and we'll do submit. And then it's going to go out. And there it is. And this is 2026, so this is fairly new. Let's hit this. And we have a couple of different ways we can do this. We can play just the SIDs. We can play the multi-sided, multi-disc game. We're going to go ahead and do the multi-disc game, or not game, but demo. Now, here's what's also interesting with the new Spiffy, and this is why I wanted to choose this one, with the new Spiffy patch, it also makes using multi-disc images better, because what it'll do is if we go to that second disc, it doesn't ask you to run that disc by default. It asks you to mount it by default. What would happen is if it were the run, some people would hit that, it would clear out the old one and run instead of mounting it instead. So I appreciate that they've done that. I might be able to demo that. We'll see if we can do that. I don't really need to, I don't think we'll get that far, but we're going to go ahead and do this. And let's go ahead and we're going to run the disk. Okay. Now there's not one mounted right now, so it's the default option for now. So let's go ahead and do that. And it'll take a little bit of time here as it downloads that .d64. Now remember, we're grabbing all these from the internet. Now, I did not put my fast load cartridge. I probably should put an Epix fast loader in there, but this demo may not need it. Sparkle supports only one active drive. Please turn off everything else on the bus. Oh, that's interesting. What does that mean? Sparkle supports only one active. Oh, that means I would have to turn off. Oh, that's too bad. Let's see. I'm going to do this and see if, I'm just curious. Yeah, you can see right there, instead of run disk, if I needed that second disk, it automatically defaults to mount disk. That is a great quality of life, because if this had actually been first and you accidentally hit it, it would have cleared out what you were just doing instead of just mounting it. So yeah, this demo is not going to work because I don't know how to turn everything else off on the bus. So sorry about that, guys. We'll try another one. Let's go ahead and let's go back up here to, let's try a different one. If anybody else knows how to turn off the bus, I'm happy to give that a try, but let's try, I think there's one called the hat that's supposed to be pretty good. Let's see if that pops up. There it is, the hat. Let's see, is this gonna be the same thing where I'm not gonna be able to load it because of the bus? Let's see, let's run that disk. Give it a second to download. I'll come back to chat here in just a minute if you guys have some. Tell you what, while we're loading, let's see what you guys are talking about in chat. Let's see, something's going on my joystick. Let's see what we've got going. Hope it goes smoothly today. Thank you, Beetle. So far, so good, right? There is a hardware mod to add 3 buttons on new 3D printed bracket on the right side of the C64. There's going to be a lot of stuff like that. That's cool, though, where you have separate menu, freeze, and reset buttons. I do need a freeze button. Got to figure out how to do a freeze button. I think that's going to be important. Hopefully, this thing is not locked up and it's loading. So far, it's not loading, so I'm not sure. We'll give it a second here and see what's going on. I got the Bread Bin Starlight Founders Edition and now have pre-ordered the beige. Good for you. Yeah, I like the shortcuts too, now to know. And then thank you for that, Fred. Oh, Fred, hey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you popping in here. And then also telling me that the space bar is used with copy and paste. Much appreciated. I think this is your first live stream with us, so thanks for being here. Verification there. Do I need a keyboard template for all the key combos like I needed back in the day? No, not quite. No, it's pretty easy. Thanks for the USB joystick. Not sure, but there we go. Scene. Let's see. Educated guesses are always the best way to attack that and get instinct. Exactly. This thing seems frozen. I don't think anything's happening. That's not good. Why is it frozen? Not good at all. So does anybody have an authentic mouse recommendation and joystick recommendation for the C64? The tank mouse is the one that I would recommend. I do have one of those. They're very good. There is a I think I have it over here. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. So I'll just show you that one. Get this one right here. This one is good. Return of an icon. This is the tank mouse. It comes with either the DB9 or a USB. So for this, technically you could use either one. And then the mouse is a full-size tank mouse. It is very, very good. I like it. Highly recommend. I forgot I had this one. And they should still be available. I've still seen them for sale, but very, very good. I highly recommend the tank mouse. I should probably connect it to this eventually. Put that back over here. And did it ever load? It never loaded. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Let's try something else. I'm not sure why it did that. I'm going to go ahead and reset, and then we'll. Hey, I just used that Commodore X to reset. How about that? Hey, let's do a Commodore Z and let's just reboot the thing. Oh, I like that. All right, so let's try. For some reason, all the new modern things that I'm trying to run are not working, and I don't know why. It's probably that same thing, the bus thing that they were talking about, because it was the same developer. Let's try 13. If somebody has a good demo that I should run, please put it in the chat. We're going to try some games here in a minute if we can't get any of these demos running. 13th. Let's see, 1337. I'm not seeing it. Maybe this one. There we go. Yeah, all right. This one, okay, this is a PRG. This should go in. Let's give this a shot. Here we go. And let's run it. There we go. Do we have sound? All right. And let's go here so you can see in case you've not seen, I'm going to turn down my lights here. There we go. I need to fix that circle view, but at least you can see all of it at the same time in this view. It does devour batteries, I agree. So what do you guys think about that demo? That's pretty cool, isn't it? I like the screen. I'm going to fix that that circular so I fill out that. This seems like a really good view for us to share the LEDs and the screen at the same time. All right, let's just keep it here, and let's just play around with this a little bit. I think this is good. Didn't know about the one to mount on the back. What's yeah, the one. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's where I have right here. This mouse is plugged into the USB right here, so they've been able to simulate the USB. By the way, is the music too loud on the computer? Can you still hear me okay, or should I pull it back a little bit? Maybe pull it back just a smidge there. All right, we are rocking and rolling with demos now, man. This looks good. I'm liking it. Let's see. We've had a good standard and solid 50 viewers. I want to thank all of you for joining me on a Sunday. This is really good. My numbers have slowly just started to go up, and I have to admit, the more of you in chat, the more enjoyable this is. So thank you all for being here today. Okay, let's try something else. I kind of want to try. Oh, there you go. Oh, wow. It's kind of teeny tiny, isn't it? Let's see if we can get that. Let's go ahead and reset. See, I like that. I can quickly reset and I don't have to go through this and I don't have to hit a menu, the button on the side. I really like this. Yeah, see, this is why I think I'm just going to install Spiffy Firmware, and hopefully they'll continue to keep it on par with the official firmware. So hopefully that'll happen. What's this? Wait, I just saw. Taro says the violators from Sensor Design. I know, right? A bit loud. Thank you, Ms. Love. I'm turning it down just a little bit so that I can talk at the same time. So I'll bring it down just a little bit. We'll try it again with another demo here. Let's do a game. I kind of like Trituracan 3. That's usually a fun one. And I do have my joystick connected. So let's see if we can go in here and let's do... And there is a, I was reading Compute's Gazette, as a matter of fact, that there is a Turacan 3, and I don't know if anybody else has seen that. Let's just use Turcan first. And let's see if we can get that loaded. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to mess around with Assembly 64 because I want you to see the advantages of having this over CommoServe. CommoServe is just so limited, and I get Commodore's trying to stay on the right side of all of these, this intellectual property and everything. But if you really want to be able to load things instantaneously, I will tell you, this has just made the Commodore 64U so much more fun for me. When I can just go and say, what do I want to play today? What didn't I get a chance to play? Oh yeah, let's play that one. So, all right, let's see if we can get this one. What is this? Let's try this. Let's go ahead and run the disk, and then we'll get out of here. There we go. And while that's loading, let's see. Hey, Marsum, good to have you here. Marsum's one of our standards normally, so good to have you here. Ms. Love, good to know that you're hanging out with us today. I appreciate it. I know you haven't had an opportunity to do that very much lately, so good to have you as a regular in here. I'm going to get a drink of water while this is loading. And again, I should put in the Epix Fast Loader. Forgot to install that. Although I do have a ROM cartridge in here that should speed it up. Maybe I need to mount it and load it manually in order for that to work. I think that's what I need to do. So we might try that on the next one. I have the Final Cartridge 3 CRT file in the the ROM area of this. So unfortunately, we're having to wait for things to load. Old school speeds on this one. Sorry about that. Let's see. Anything I can cover while we're talking about that? Let's see. Yeah, does anybody know, this was a question that came up earlier, but does anybody know how to install I think the flash button, you know, wait, scratch that. I did find out. If you need a freeze button, if you take the rocker switch and you just throw it up quickly, that will actually act as your freezer button if you have a freeze cartridge or one of the final cartridges, or like a Epix Fast Load cartridge that has a button on it, right there. So it will do that. Hopefully this game's going to load. This is taking a while. Let's see. I got Assembly 64 to work with Ubuntu 26.04. And then Evil J, are you running that in the Vice emulator? Which emulator are you using for that? So you have to sudo apt install OpenJFX first, of course. No, that wasn't an of course for me. I would not have known that unless you put that in chat. So thank you for that. It seems to still be running or loading. The other thing I'd like to have is, I can't remember if we can make this an activity light or not. I wish this were a disk activity light when it's not being used as a power light. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Maybe that's an option. Sonic or Prince of Persia might be fun to try as the first requires REU and the second in an easy. That would be a good one. I got the utility buttons. They are so nice to have. I need to look at that, cutie honey. I have not seen that, so I will have to take a look at that. Wow, this is really taking forever. Any thoughts? Oh, no emulator, running Java version. Oh, that's interesting, Evil J. So Assembly 64 has a Java emulator, and you just pull from there and run directly from there. Very cool. We'll say though, I'm now that I have this, I'm kind of reluctant to run anything on my PC that's Commodore. I just want to be here. But yeah, hey, you know, I'm kind of looking at this thinking that C64, the 64C version is going to be really nice on it. That's going to lower profile. It's not going to have my hands kicked up like this. It's going to be more like this. That's going to be nice. Let's see. I purchased and installed the Visual Assembler. I haven't yet given that a try. Looks like an interesting way to code assembly. Yeah, I think something's freezing up too. Let's do this. I'm going to check something. I might have, let's see. And this actually, now that I think about it, this could be causing the problems. I think under memory, yeah, I've got a RAM expansion unit enabled. I need to disable that. I was running GeoS the other day. So let's do that. Let's reset. And let's do, what I'm going to do is I do have this cartridge in here, the final ROM right here. So we're going to make sure we load that. And I'm not sure if that's working. Let's see. Yeah, it's not up right now. So let's do something we know is going to work. We want to get this thing lit up. Let's go to let's go to Last Ninja. Let's try that. That should pop right up. There we go. Last Ninja. Let's see. Last Ninja 2. Which one do we think is the Last Ninja 4? There was a 4? Holy cow. Let's try it. It says that's a loader. Let's see what that is. Oh, no, that's just a SID file. Okay, it's just the music. Is this the game? Nope, that's just SID. Oh, here's a tape drive. Do we know if do those work? Let's see. Let's run. I don't think I've tried a .tap file. Oh, here's a README text. What is going on there? Why don't you use, well, yeah, I could, you're right. I should use WASD. Yeah, you're right. I could just use the mouse or the joystick too, which would actually be a lot faster as well. But it looks like I have locked this thing up again. Wow, what is going on? Yeah, it's locked. Hey guys, it is locked up. I can't reset. That's interesting. It is done. The TAP load just destroyed it. Let's see if I can. Let's go ahead and reboot. Now, unfortunately, what this is going to cause is I'm going to have to reload it. So there you go. Here's a situation where I probably just wish the firmware was loaded. So let's go ahead and let's get that loaded again. We'll try, let's go down to here. Luckily, it's pretty fast. Not bad. You can see how fast that was upon second time. Okay, let's try and find something that's going to run, for heaven's sakes. We have not had good luck with, oh, I'll tell you what I am going to do. Daggone it, I'm going to need to power off. I'm going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and load the fast load cartridge so that things will load faster too. So hold on just a second. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. And I have found this works really well. So let me go ahead and put that in there. And then we'll turn it back on. And then we'll go back in here. There you go. We got our fast load, and then we'll go into there we go. And we'll load our Spiffy soft patch. There we go. Run update. Yep. Poke, 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 poke. And we're back in. And there we go. So now we'll go back here to this. We'll go here. We'll go to Assembly 64. Let's see if we can load. Mislov's out. Good to see you. Thanks, Mislov, for popping in. If you use the official patch, you can always uninstall Spiffy. Yes, exactly. What is the fast load cartridge? Fast load cartridge will typically load things a lot faster than sitting there waiting for them to go at true 1541 speed. So I typically like that. I'm going to try one more game that I was kind of wanting to play. I don't know why Turrican wasn't working. So let's go ahead and do this. And there we go. Let's do Chaos Engine. Oh, wait, that's SID. I thought, wasn't that a game? That's a SID. Interesting. Oh, there it is. I think this is this the demo? Yeah, I believe so. Okay. So then what we're going to do is, let's go ahead and run that one. Let's see if we can get something going, guys. Here we go. So that is just an image. Okay, I need game recommendations, guys. Give me a couple of game recommendations. What time is it? We've got a few more minutes here. Give me some game recommendations for things we should try. While we're doing that, I do want to show you where I think this can be really useful quickly. As I'm going to go back in here to the engine here. And let's say you want to do a little word processing. I think this would be really cool because quickly, there are a lot of great, let's see, easy, oops. There are a lot of great word processors out there, but let's say you want to do, well, let's try SpeedScript. And you guys, while you're putting in some games for me, here is SpeedScript. Let's do the latest version, 4.12. Let's do this, and I'm going to mount the disk because I want to use my speed. Actually, I think we're going to have to reset. Yep, so let's do that. Oh, interesting. There we go. And let's make sure mount the disk. There we go. And then we'll do this right here. And now we're using our Epix Fast Loader and we're loading up a word processor. So let's just check and see if it works. Let's see if we can get something working on this thing. There we go. Have you ever seen a word processor that flashes lights? Of course, it's a crack, so that's why. This is SpeedScript 4.2. Hit the space bar. Wait 5 seconds. Could this be in PAL? Maybe this was PAL. Let's see. Wow. We have not had any luck getting anything working. This is probably in PAL would be my guess. And I've set up for NTSC. Let's go ahead and reset here. Let's try one more here. Let's try this. All right, let's try one more here. And then let me see, Blue Max, Zaxxon. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Zaxxon would be good. Why not? Here we go. This looks like it's working. So this is SpeedScript 3.2. And there you go. We can get into some word processing. If I can type. Look at that. So if you just needed a quick word processor, and I don't remember, I think it was F1 or something like that. I'm trying to remember. Gosh, it's been so long. But this actually has some Commodore key controls too, if I remember. So there you go. Let's go ahead. Now let's try Zaxxon. I thought that was just, that's just a brilliant stroke of why didn't you think of that, Combs? Because there's a great CRT cartridge version of that. And we just talked about Zaxxon and we get a chance to see the difference between that and that Atari 2600 version. Let's do that. And now we've got to oh, you know what I should do? This something I'm not doing and I should do. I should go back up here to category and lock this down to games. There we go. Let's narrow this down a little bit. There we go. And we will do, let's try that one. That's a D64 version. There was a CRT version. Let's see if we can find that. Is it here? Nope. This one? Nope. What's this one? Nope. Definitely don't want to do that because that did not seem to work before. Let's see. Maybe it's +2. Is it this one? No, it's not that one. Maybe it was this one, Zaxxon 2. No. I know there's a CRT version. I was hoping to grab that one. Oh, here we go. Cart. Oh, that's interesting. That's a CRT plus, but it's a .D64. Interesting. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and we'll choose Zaxxon 2. And let's mount the disk. And let's reset. And wow, it would not reset from here. Oh my goodness, let's go ahead and run it. Okay. All right, so hopefully this will work. We're going to try just a couple more things and then we'll start winding down since we're just seem to be, I don't know why we're struggling. I guess I should have tried a few more of these. There were a couple of utilities I thought we might try. I was going to see if maybe we could get something with a mouse working. I'm not sure what that would be, but maybe we'll find something here in a minute. Blue Max, I think I might try that next. Test drive on 2 or 3 megahertz would be good, Taro. You're right. Sherwood would be a good one. Does the CommoServe have any of the new titles that are on? No, I don't believe so, Taro. I do not believe CommoServe does. It's very limited. Do you have a fast load cartridge, and where is a legit place to buy one? Where did I buy that? I think I bought that as the Future was 8-bit, Craig. So for you being in Scotland, that should be an easy ship. So go to the Future was 8-bit and you should be able to get a fast load cartridge. And I didn't do it right. So it's not loading right now with the fast load cartridge. So here we go again, because I didn't do it the way I should have. If you have an Ultimate, you can load them digitally. Yes. Let's see. Liking the way everything looks, but I really need to get a dedicated monitor set up for my C64 Ultimate. Doesn't seem to like my HDMI switch. Yeah, probably. I have the Checkmate monitor, which is really cool, but it's pretty pricey. Here we go. Here's Zaxxon. Let's see if we get working. Wrong file name. What is going on, guys? I cannot seem to get anything to work today. This is really strange. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to reset. Let's reboot. There we go. Fast load's back. Let's try. I'm going to try one last thing here. Let me go back here. We're going to go back up to the very first one and just see if we can get this working. We need to mount the disk. That way we can use our fast load. So let me, okay, now we'll see if that'll load. Now we're using our fast load cartridge. Yeah, see how much faster that is. Let's see if this works. Let's see. Warning, don't push so hard on those keys. There are traces of gold powder. Oh, yeah, really. I have a cheap HDMI switch that works on my Mega 65. Yeah, the thing that I use for all these devices is the Cloner Alliance. Man, it is just like rock solid. It does such a good job. If a monitor doesn't support the input, it'll convert it so that any monitor, HDMI monitor, I mean, it's an amazing device. I really like it. I have a couple of them. They've actually been kind enough to send me some of their stuff for the other channel. So I've done it there. Balls Like a Frog works with a mouse. Oh, yes. And I had it on our USB stick. Yes, I could do that. We'll try that. If we can get anything to load today. I think it might be yep, it is. Does the gold, like Cheetos. It kind of does feel like a Cheeto, big Cheeto, doesn't it? That's pretty funny. Well, this is weird because this is the Epic's fast load cartridge and it's still taking forever. I really wanted to demo that Assembly 64 was the great thing to have. And I don't think I'm doing it justice right now. I guess I'm just picking the wrong things. Oh, here we go. Finally. Whew, finally got something to go. Here we go. This is Zaxxon. And you can see that just lit up, boy. Let's see. Oh, so here you go. Here's, we got something going on there. So as you can see, this is actually a little bit better than the Atari 2600 version, but you know, actually in some ways the sound on the 2600 was even better than this. Look at this. Oh, that's too low. I'm not doing so well, folks. Not doing horribly, but you know. Oh, I thought I was going to fly down and blow it. So Zaxxon is working. You know, I didn't look at the key. Oh, there you go. I love it. When you press the fire button, check out the keyboard, guys. That's pretty cool. And other sounds, there you go. The explosions. Look at that. I do, again, this is why I think the Starlight's just a lot of fun. If you're going to get one of these, get the one that has the LEDs kind of blinking and firing based on, or lighting up based on what you're doing. Hey, I made it through the first round. Check that out. This is a pretty good version of, and this is not going to be bad. I've got way too many I've got to knock out because I didn't knock them out in the round. So yeah, there we go. So anyway, there is Zaxxon. We got that playing. Somebody said, and I think this would be a good one. Let's try Blue Max. I am kind of curious. So I'm going to go back in here. I am going to reset. I'm I'm getting the hang of it now. So, and then we'll go back here and we're going to go back up and let's do Blue Max. I think that's a good option right there to choose. We'll try that. And then we'll try the frog game, see if we can get the mouse, see if it's working. And then we'll kind of start wrapping up. So if you have anything that you want to add, make sure you put that down there. Let's see. Let's do, is this, it's a D64. For some reason, I was thinking there was a couple of these on cartridge. Maybe I'm wrong. Here's, let's go ahead and do it here. And we're going to mount. We're going to mount because I don't need to use the fast load. And then we're going to Commodore run stop with the fast load cartridge to get it running. If we run it, it's going to reboot the machine. It's going to take the fast load cartridge out of the equation. So at least we get some benefit from that. And let's see, you all said balls like a frog. Yeah, we need to do that. So that loaded pretty quickly. So that's good. All right. And I don't remember how to play this thing. As a matter of fact, nothing's working. Let's see. Let's try that Commodore J thing and see if we're just in the wrong joystick port. No, doesn't seem to be it. Nope. Let's see. What do we think we do here to get playing? F1? F2? Oh, there it is. Novice. There we go. And for some reason, I don't know, that's Blue Max 2001. It's not working. What is going on? Oh man, this has not been great for games. I'm tell you what. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can do one last one here. And we'll go up here. And let's see, that's the Blue Max 2001. So you were saying, well, I'll tell you what, let's try this. Let's try just the regular Blue Max. You could be right. Let's go in here. Let's grab this one, but that's a tap file. We had problems with that before. Let's see, is this one on disk? Here we go. Let's try this one. Let's, first of all, I've got to reset. There we go. Let's mount our disk. There we go. And then we'll load that. Let's try it one more time. And then we will start to wind up, guys, unless you got something you really want me to check. I'm going to spend more time with Assembly 64 and see if there we go. That's what we were looking for. And see if I can find some additional really cool titles for us. And we may do another live stream where I've preloaded some and pulled some of the really fun stuff from the Assembly 64. And of course, let's see if it's the other joystick. Let's try Command J. Oh, it was. Yeah, look at that. So the Commodore J actually worked where I could switch the joystick without having to change it. That's cool. I'm going the wrong way. Hold on, we'll get there. I guess I got to wait a little bit longer. The takeoff is always the hardest. Oh, I can't even I can't get this thing to push forward to climb. You're kidding. Forward to climb, Taro? Seriously? Wow, forward. That makes no sense. So if we can get a little higher here. There we go. That's crazy. So there you go. There is Blue Max and someone who's horrible at it. Seriously. I know that's, whoa. Okay. So that worked, which is good. That's as far as I'm going. That is it for that. So let's see. That is so funny. Craig's out of here. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Good to have you here. And I know it's getting late across the pond, so outstanding push. That's just crazy. Great stream. Have a wonderful week. Xander, see you. Oh, maybe Xander's. Yeah, Xander's out of here too. So we are starting to wind down. We're starting to lose people. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I am going to, first of all, let's go back here. I kind of want to show you just one more thing. So if you want to narrow things down, and I didn't do such a good job at this, but you can come in here, go to assembly, and then you can look just by category. So you could say, I want games. Yeah, I'm looking for something, you know, from one of these areas. We could do C64, we could do CDSB, but you can see it has a lot of different databases that it can pull from. So maybe we come down and we say, I want to pull from just the games area. And I could do the date, I could do the latest, I could sort those, I could choose my order, but then I could just hit submit. And I think what's fun is you can just browse. So here's a fun one here, Stormtroopers of Death from 1989. Let's, you know what, let me go ahead and reboot here. We may try one real quick. Here's Poncho Super Sports. So you can just kind of go in here and say, you know what, Mission Elevator, that sounds kind of cool. Let's see what this, here's one from 2026. Wow. How recently is that? Let's see what Hokuto Force is doing here. Let's try that and see what that looks like. This is I don't know what that is, but you can just kind of go through and just start having fun. Just trying things. May the retro be with you. I love it. Outstanding. 8561. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining us today. So, oh, that one said file not found error. That's interesting. Let's see what we have here. Nothing is on there. Wow. So Combs, you have just really messed up. So let's go back up here. Let's just pick the first thing that popped up and see what happens when we choose. No item. Look at that. So let's see. What about this one? There we go. And let's mount the disk. We're going to get something going here. Let's see if that works. Let me see if I've got anything else left in my... Yeah, while we're loading this up, just one more reminder, and I'll go ahead and turn up the screen just a little bit. Remember our next live stream, which will probably be in a couple weeks, we'll be covering the Atari 2600 Uno Kart Plus. Again, you couldn't get this in the United States, so Stefan Eiler sent this over my way. We will be loading up the little SD card and trying to figure out how to use that. We'll be playing some Atari Uno Kart games. And what I'm hoping is maybe by then that Zaxxon version for the 2600 will be released. That would be really cool. So go down below, subscribe, hit alerts, do all that business. And, oh, this looks nice. What do we got going on here? Vampire's Empire. Got some nice, look at the little thing going here. That's nice. Here, I'll turn the lights down a little bit more for you. There you go. I am not familiar with this game. Again, we're just kind of browsing to see what's on here. We've had, just as we're winding up here, we've had about 342 folks pop in, pop out. We didn't have people stay very long. People pop in, find out I'm not their bag. That's fine. Pop out. But we've had about 50 of you just regularly through this, which has been nice. So I appreciate the 50 of you. And that's, you know, again, for my small channel, that's pretty good. And those numbers are growing. I think people are looking for a little users group Sunday afternoon thing, right? So that's great. Oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Not sure what we're doing here. Oh, but looks like we can possibly, can we go down the stairs? It's a little tricky, guys. Yep, doesn't look like I can go down the stairs. Let's see, can I jump? Well, who's that? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's weird. There we go. So a little weird, the screen. I don't know if that's by choice or if that's something that's happening with my or if this should have been in PAL or something. So there you go. That's pretty interesting. That's a pretty interesting game there. Let me try one. I don't know. I kind of want to try one more. Okay, one more, guys. Oh, here's Micro Painter. Maybe we can get our mouse to work with this. Let's see if this works. So let me go ahead and reset. Let's mount our disc. Let's see if that'll let us use our mouse real quick. All right, so we'll try that. Micro Painter. I'm still here, RetroComb, says Beetle. Somebody's still with us. All right, press plus or minus to control your scrolling. Micro Painter, the main program is now loading. Press fire to start load game. Oh, it's actually a game. Oh, look at this. It's a little bit like, oh, what's that game? Can't remember. I don't think. I don't think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but very interesting. All right, let's, that's been interesting. That's no fun. Holy cow. Let's do, okay. Let's see if we can. Hey, you think they have, let's try this. We're going to reboot. I'm going to try one more file browse. Assembly 64. I don't know if we'll, I don't remember anything that uses a mouse. Oh wait, somebody said the game like a frog. Yeah, it was on, you're right. It was on the last one, last week, or the last live stream. Let's see. Frog. Oh shoot. That may be too much. I probably won't find it with just that. What was the name of that? Let's see. That was Sherwood. BLAF, that's right. That's right, BLAF. Let's go back there. Okay, let's see if that actually searches for it and finds it. There it is. Let's go ahead and, interesting. Let's, whoa. That is, there we go. There it is. And let's run. Okay, let's see if we can, this supposedly uses the mouse. So this will be our last one for the day, if we can get it working. So again, I'm using this mouse right here, which also is all LED. See that? How about that? Put those together. Yeah. All right, so that does not sound right, and maybe you have to have the special version that's on the included disc, because I can't get, nothing's working. Oh my goodness. Wow. Assembly 64. Yeah, I can't get anything working. I can't make a selection. I can't do anything. All right, well, that's annoying. Okay, guys, well, I think that is time to go. We did not have any luck with Assembly 64. I'm going to have to really work with it. I know Assembly 64 is something that we want, but that proved just to be very painful, and I'm sorry for that. But at least, you know, again, like what always happens on RetroCombs live streams is we get the good and we get the bad, and we got a little bit of the bad today trying to figure out Assembly 64. So I promise you I'll spend more time in Assembly 64, and I will try and figure out what's going on, what are some games that actually work, and so stay tuned for that. We may come back maybe in a month or so, and by that time probably we'll have, I'm still guessing I'm probably going to install the firmware and do the firmware, but we'll probably do, maybe we'll do that live together. I don't know. We'll see. But again, don't forget, next one will be the Uno Kart Plus. Now let's just go ahead and close up here. in chat. Make sure we've covered everything. If you have the Ultimate cart, you can load them digital. Oh, wait, what is this? Does the CommoServe have the new type? Oh, we talked about that already. Okay. Do you have a fast load cart? Oh, we talked about that. If you have a Ultimate, you can load them digitally. I have, you know what I should have tried? And I also recommend that, and this works really well. The Kung Fu Flash also works really well on the Commodore 64 U2. So, you know, although it's kind of repetitive, right? Since you can install a CRT and ROM, and you have, I mean, there's a lot that's repetitive, but sometimes it's just easier just, I don't want that one. Sometimes it's just easier just to plug in a cartridge and it work, right? Here's one I have been dying to try, and I've not spent much time with it. It is the Teensy ROM. And this is cool because it has a MIDI port on it. So you can do some MIDI stuff with it. So I have been anxious to give that a shot and try that too, the Teensy ROM. So, and then do I have another? Here's another version of the Kung Fu Flash here from Retro Rewind. That's another place you can get that if you're interested in that. Let's see, let's see, which one's this one? This one is the Freeloader 64, which is very similar to the fast load cartridge right there. So that one is available. And then I think I have one more. Oh yeah, the Meatloaf. And of course we've talked about the Meatloaf, which is another variation of CommoServe and Assembly 64. So there's so much stuff. And I've got them all in a little line, but there's so much stuff that is really kind of just a great time to be in the hobby, right? So take a look at those. Let's see. Warning, don't, oh, we talked about that, yeah. We tried to play it, didn't work. I don't know, but the official version on the cassette, USB cassette that comes with it, it works fine, but the one that we downloaded did not. I don't understand that. So Xander, thank you. Appreciate it. No more games. Yep, no more games. Thank you for the awesome stream. Have a great rest of the day. Same to you. Thank you. May the retro be with you. Again, happy May the 4th Eve. May the 4th be with you, Eve. Beal saying, I'm still with you. Yeah, well, several people hung out, which is great. 37 of you are still hanging in there as I go through this, so that's great. Me too, had to step out for a moment. Got to say, the compatibility issues here really surprised me. Me too. And I don't think it's anything I'm doing. I mean, maybe... I can't imagine the Epic's fast loader cartridge is causing any issues, so I'm really kind of concerned about Assembly 64. I may have to kind of look at that. CommoServe might also be curated for games that have been tested, but you know, it shouldn't be tested and curated because the Commodore 64U is 99.9% compatible, but there must be something happening in the translation. Maybe it's PAL versus NTSC and it can't recognize it. Yeah, it could be that, I guess. Really like the 3 screen overlays. That looks really sharp. Yeah, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to fix so that the circle here, so that's, I can't, this is an old template I had for my old my old way of streaming. I'm going to fix this into a rectangle and then I'll put that in there and then it'll all be, so I'll try and have that done by the next one. But yeah, I kind of like that. I think that's kind of a cool look. So change input. Tried that, didn't work. Oh, wait. Stuart, you meant change input in the firmware. That may have been what we should have done. Yeah. How about some Pac-Man? Any Pac? Hey, you know what? Just hang on. While I'm going through here, why not? Let's just try any Pac-Man while we're working through here. Let's see. Pac-Man, any Pac-Man. All right, let's see what happens. Let's submit. Pac-Man, the Bandit Boys. Pac-Mania. Let's try Pac-Mania. That would be any Pac-Man. And let's mount that disc. And while we're going here through, it's loading. All right, there we go. While it's going through, let's see, while I'm going through here. Bart, I'm guessing that's the case. That's really not good. No, I know. Still a good stream. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I was getting a little frustrated, as you can tell, towards the end because I want things to work. I want you guys to see stuff. A mouse demo. Very excited. No, didn't work, right? What is this? The lame communist banana boat Iranian good hawkish. What is this? This isn't what I loaded. Oh, this is their stupid crack toe. Unlimited lives, you bet. There it is. Why do we have to put stuff on there like that? I'll tell you what. All right, so 1, start game. Let's try it. 1. Round 1, use joystick's keys to select your world. Okay, here we go. Oh, wait, I can't hear it. Well, this looks good. Oh, and it's working. Look at this, guys. It's working. Oh, I can't get it over there. There we go. Oh, the controls on this are horrible, guys. But we are packing. This is Pac-Man-esque. I'll say that. Oh, man. Oh, that did it. Okay, so we played some Pac-Man. There you go. I'm super excited. We finally got a game loaded. Oh, my goodness. All right, so congratulations. We finally got a game loaded. Oh, man. When will you be back online for the next stream? I will be back in 2 to 3 weeks, probably 2 weeks. That's kind of the goal. So be prepared. Usually 2 weeks in between streams. So thanks for asking. Appreciate it. Good time. Thank you. You're welcome, Fred. I'm sorry it got a little dry there towards the end. That was a fantastic stream. Take care. Fantastic. I don't know about that, Beatles, but I will take anything I can. Excited for the Uno Kart demo. Yeah. You know what? If you're in the Discord, go to the Atari 2600 channel. Tell me what games you think we should try on the cart. Okay. So I'd love to know that, and I'll try and prompt you guys in the Discord too. And why don't you use Dolphin DOS? Dolphin DOS. It's a faster loader than some of the carts. That's, I'll take a look at it. I'm not familiar with it. So I will, oh wait, it's Dolphin O. Is it Dolphin DOS or is it Dolphin O? I think it is Dolphin DOS. You're right. Thanks for another highly enjoyable stream. Well, thank you, Stuart. Appreciate that. Have a great time, everyone. Looking forward to the next stream, as am I, and maybe things will work. I'll try and do a little more testing next time. You could do an entire literal multi-cart stream. I could. You're right. We could just go through every one of them. PAL versus NTSC would help explain some of the compatibility. That's what I'm thinking. But it is such a pain to switch between the two. So I wish we could figure that out for sure. It's one of the things you have to love about an emulator. It can just switch like that. To know what the story is here, whether with the FW patch, Assembly 64, the C64, no idea. Never had weird issues like this with the C64 core. No, I know. But again, maybe it's you know, it's what's curated on Assembly 64. I could have just been picking, you saw how many different options there were. So, I'm just picking one that doesn't like what I'm doing. It's not, I don't know why. It's just really weird. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Time, dot munching goodness. There you go. I'm glad I could do that for you towards the end. You can jump over the ghost. Well, now you tell me. I know you probably told me while I was playing. I'm just kidding. Oh, Pac-Mania, got to try that one. Yes, it's available and it is working. Good luck on that one. Looks good. Sounds right. I could have had a little more chomping, I thought. I was expecting more chomp. I have an A64 working here already reporting bugs in their Discord. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Archimedes Pac-Man is pretty great. Maybe I need to check that out. Oh, wait, I have checked that out. You're right. I do remember that. Oh, here we go. Disable soft IEC drive, REU, and printer if you have problems loading stuff. Thank you, Andre. I will look at that. You know what? I know the REU I did, and you saw me turn that off, but that printer could be active. And you're right, the IEC drive would have turned off the bus for that problem I had on the very first one. Man, I wish you'd been here earlier. I would have turned all of that off. But good for us to know that those are 3 things that you can turn off that may make your 64 a little more responsive. So very good tips. Thanks again. See you next time. Good to see you. The Pac-Mania worked fairly well. Got good control of him. That's a win. Yes, it is. Will do on Discord 2600. Thank you, Beatles. All right, folks, that is it for me. I am going to hang out in chat for just a little bit longer because we have some folks coming around the bottom, but that's it. And I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Have a great rest of your weekend. If you have anything left, my folks across the pond don't have much left. Those in the United States, we've got, about 10 hours left. That's about it for us. So that is it for me. As I always like to do, Retro comes out. See you in chat. Thanks for joining, and I'll see you next time. Even though we had some problems, it was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys.